Alright guys, I am here to actually review the Sean John and Yeezy collaboration. I do have two pieces from the collab, the white shirt as well as the blue one. Also kind of give you my perspective overall of Kanye West and why he would do such a collaboration, as well as kind of give you my personal experience with P. Diddy and kind of around his camp and some of his parties. But first, let's take a look at one of the pieces. The first piece here, we have the white and black tee. And this one has Sean John on the front, as well as the bird printed on the back. These are actually really high quality prints on the t-shirts, super thick and textured. Again, I'm just going to do a review of the t-shirt itself, and then we're going to get into the collaboration, my perspective of, again, why he would do this, stuff like that. So yeah, but the t-shirt alone, I actually really love the t-shirt, just it being a t-shirt. Again, I wore the Bully t-shirt like this the other day. It's the same exact material, same exact t-shirt, with just obviously different prints on it. And it's really comfortable. This is a size 3, and I'm a relatively big guy. I'm like 260, 6'2", 6'3". So a 3, it fits me pretty tight, tightly fitting. So if you're smaller than that, if you want like an oversized feel, you just gotta be way smaller than me, to be honest, and get a size 3. But anyway, yeah, if the t-shirt feels really good wearing it, I think you can wear this t-shirt to the gym, and just like on a more active day when it's warmer outside. It's definitely breathable, and yeah, super nice. It's it gives you a minimal look, but also it'll get you, it has some edginess to it, obviously because of the design, as well as of the collaboration itself and who you collaborated with. It's just going to be edgy. Not obviously everyone won't necessarily know what Sean John is, especially today. It is people who still know who owns or who's associated with Sean John. So you will get eyes probably just alone of that. But at the same time, it's kind of up to you and what you're comfortable with. Obviously, if you're wearing a shirt like this, people probably think you may, agree with everything the owner has done, right? Or haven't done it. I mean, whatever. So it's just kind of up to you how comfortable you are, right? Me, I'm a designer, I'm an artist, so I kind of have a different perspective of these type of pieces, and really kind of knowing Kanye West and his perspective of being an artist and an artist who wants to be a legendary artist. I get why he does things like this. He studies like all of the past greats in the arts, and he understands that these people are polarizing individuals, as well as people who just may be complicated. He also mentioned that he wants to essentially kind of be in the detention center at all times. He want to be he uses the analogy like being in high school, always in detention. That's the people who get all you could say the attention for the most part. As you're just like a good student, you just do what you got to do, kind of more. But he's an independent artist, so his whole marketing campaigns is quite edgy, and I think this is just part of his marketing campaigns. He uses Twitter, he uses very simple means. He uses social media to kind of do all his marketing. I think at an artist at his level, it's not many people who can do the things that he does. Again, we already knew this was his brand, essentially going against the grain, saying what he wants. Obviously, him having access to Twitter, and again having his own brand now, he kind of took that a couple steps further when he had his campaigns, and he's having his releases come out. So yeah, I think if we go into just the reason why he did a collaboration, I think is all the things I just said. Him having just being edgy in his marketing campaigns, but also his I think he mentioned that he was actually going to do this. He was working on a collaboration before all of the Diddy blow up happened, and they were working on a collab. So I think he just wanted to finish that, as well as P. Diddy is someone he looks up to and feels as though somewhat raised him, especially in the industry, being an artist, being an entertainer. He took a lot of influence from P. Diddy, just being a mogul, and you know, we know Diddy now is a billionaire, and yeah, so I think he has a lot of respect for P. Diddy, and who will be one of the first major artists to put their necks out for Diddy. Who better else to do it than Kanye West? Like, he already don't care. I do also understand, you know, he's going through some things in his personal life. It could be genuine, you know, reason why he's saying this stuff now, or it could be marketing. I don't know, but I do think that no matter, despite all that, I do think he probably is going through things just like any other human, especially around his family, being separated from his wife and not being part, like him and his family being whole, him being a father. I think he does go through, you know, probably some pain with that, as well as with his mom. And I think he did mention that, you know, pretty much each week, each day, that he does feel like he don't want to be here anymore. So he doesn't really have much to lose. Again, if anyone could do this collaboration or will do this collaboration, it would be him. He would be the one that would be comfortable with it. From an artist perspective, I do feel like, you know, pieces like this, knowing that, you know, Ye is a polarizing figure in music and fashion, and as an individual, as an overall artist, this type of piece, it may not be like obviously looked good upon right now, but you just never know. Again, doing that history, he probably knows pieces like this may 100 years from now, 50 years from now, may go crazy. You know, when all of the commotion is dead and gone with P. Diddy and stuff like that, this may be something crazy, you know? You never know. So that's why I actually grabbed it. Yeah, this one was on the website for, I want to say, a few days before it was taken down. I also have the blue one. Let me show you the blue one. Now, the blue one was only up, I believe, for a few hours. There you go. Before it was taken down for the most part. It was only up for a few hours before. So the blue one was up only for like a few hours before it was taken down. So it had a blue and a red one. And at first they had like when they first showed the t-shirt, they had like I would say like I don't know if it was a Gildan or whatever tag for like the 2020 t-shirts or whatever on there. So I was thinking it was going to be just like more of like a normal t-shirt. And it was probably already printed, because most of those t-shirts that was made like that was already made. Again, he said this was a collaboration that was already in the works, so I thought t-shirts was already in the works. I thought they were already pre-made, but it wasn't. They actually made these. It took about a month and a half, 2 months before it came. So, and again, it came on the kind of like a newer design t-shirt. So, yeah. And again, the same with the white t-shirt. This is super, super thick. Super, super nice. I also haven't washed it yet, so I don't necessarily know how it's going to hold up in the wash. But from what I'm feeling, super, super thick. A lot of texture there. Super nice. I think you can wear this in the gym. You can kind of dress it up, dress it down a little bit. This is more, again, a more minimal look that I enjoy. Yeah. You compare this with like some Yeezy sweats, and be good to go. And you got your edgy look, you know what I'm saying, if you're going to wear that now, or you're going to wait a couple years and throw this on when it's a little bit safer. It's kind of up to you. I mean, obviously people calling Diddy all these names, pedophile and kid this or rapist, or, you know, so, you know, innocent until proven guilty, as well as everyone has the right for their perspective and how they may feel about polarizing figures in our community. If you are a black individual, I would say this, we've had quite a bit of our brothers, especially of power, get shut down. Obviously, it's probably from things that, they wasn't doing right, including, there may have been some targeting involved as well. They're very influential on the planet, and we do have 3-letter, agencies that, that does like to do their thing, and the overall business. So you have a business, you have people collaborating on business ideas and contracts and stuff like that. Get legs up, things can happen. You get a little crazy. So it's just never done, So that's why I think if you are in entertainment, or you are a boss, you are a leader, make sure you're setting all your P's and Q's. Make sure you're doing the right thing, and you're good with God, and you're taking care of your responsibilities, and just being an overall respectable person, especially even more when you have power and resources. So don't take advantage of people. Do what you got to do. So people know your reputation, know who you are, and stuff like that. So there we go. So yeah. Now I'll give you some of my experiences with around Ye and P. Diddy as well. I haven't necessarily been around Ye directly, but I do know some of the people in his camp. I kind of know his perspective on certain things on a slightly different level as well. But I think I've been directly around P. Diddy, and because he does throw parties out here in LA. I used to throw parties out here in LA, and I attended a few of those parties, or just been around some of those parties trying to get in, because his parties it can be very difficult to get in, even though the locations, just because the way that he does it. He doesn't do all his parties like that, but I think for the last probably maybe a few years, or for the most part, he will have a set location where everyone meets at, and then you get like a party bus that kind of gets you to his house, to the party. So you have to know that location first before you even really pull up to the house and go to the parties. I think they only want to let people in coming off those party buses, because this is where he lives at. He lives in a very affluent area. You can't necessarily just go into one of those areas, and I think just for him, having hundreds of thousands of people pull up in their own individual cars is probably more likely. Is going to be issues and problems that neighbors have with parking, with a situation, whatever it could be. So I think doing the party bus situation, you get just people who are actually on the list to get in. But yeah, just so that experience. So, one of the parties, and one of his last parties right before like all of the Cassie situation happened, I do remember this party was absolutely crazy to get in. And again, this is just the first stop. It was hundreds and hundreds of people trying to get in, and get to one of the buses. So, but to get into the bus, someone had to like write you off on it and say, hey, you can get on. And it was absolutely crazy. I've seen quite a bit of celebrities, DDG. I even seen, what's his name? Lamar Odom, which was funny. Seeing him. He was even trying to get in. It was difficult for a lot of people to get into that party, just to get on the bus to get to the party. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. That gave me just like a different perspective of, since it especially was like super close to when all this started happening, people started to really kind of go at Diddy just as a community, particularly the black community as well. It was crazy, because it was like, I seen how people was just dying to get into this party, but then I started to hear, people talking about the party, talking about how he parties, talking about how that was an issue. Obviously, we know that it's layers to his parties, meaning you got just a regular party, and then you got the after party, then you got the after party, right? And I think that's what people were aren't that much aligned with. But at the same time, a lot of these people that I seen, there are people that have been in the industry. They know what's going on. They know what happens at these type of parties and what could happen, but they were literally dying to get into these parties. So I have a slightly different perspective of Diddy and that whole situation, just because I've experienced that. Follow me on Instagram at Renard Woods. Also, definitely follow and subscribe to the page. I will be doing a lot more reviews. I have so many Yeezy pieces for the most part. I'll start kind of reviewing them and kind of give you my perspective on some of the pieces. I thought this one would be a good starter since it's such a polarizing collaboration. But yeah, like, share, comment. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments, man. Yep.